10% attack or 10% defense? Well, wrong, the real winner is hidden. HP bypass often beats both attack and defense. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we'll settle the stats debate once for all. So let's start with the first thing, and bypass is actually ignoring the health. HP bypass, obviously defense penetration is going to be defense and etc. Attack are boosting the damage, and defense cut incoming damage that your legion are receiving. So by knowing that, something that we already see many times in Call of Dragons, this is going to also apply for the new city skin that's coming in Call of Dragons. I don't know when, again, this city skin, yeah, it's like magic units HP bypass 10%, but we actually already saw this thing on the battlefield. Many fights we actually saw this thing, and I'm speaking about, let's start with some heroes here. For example, Theodore. We're having HP reduction, and this is actually reduction, is not actually bypass, but I think they should work similar way. And here we have like 20%. We're having also Mogro, which is having HP reduction 20%. We're having Nika, which is having HP reduction 20%. So we all know how the things go when we're having somebody to do some HP reduction. Now, sometimes even the rallies is making some synchronize, and I think for the rally you can go and check it out, Up the Beast YouTube. He explained very well the timing of the rally and how to, you know, predict how to make your rallies if you hit with quadro or triple or whatever rallies over the enemy castle. So the majority of the cases, people first are sending the infantry with some hero that's reducing the HP. The majority of the cases, this is going to be Mogro, but still, we're also right now having other hero that is very decent for this job, and this is Kuma. If I find Kuma, yeah, Kuma is actually draining the HP, reduce the target HP, we're increasing the Legion HP. So what I mean by the reduce it, if you have like 10% reduction over 100 HP, this is going to be like 90 HP. If you have like 10% bypass the enemy HP, this is going to again result in the 90 HP, in my opinion. So yeah, just by having those heroes on the battlefield that is reducing the HP, we already have some examples, and we can make some good educated decision, or not actually, the actual decision, should we actually get the new mage skin and how this is going to affect what is the best stats in general in Call of Dragons. So by having all this data from the previous fights, we can actually make some educated decision and stop randomly picking the buffs we're getting. Obviously, because I have this question, your burgers, which buff to pick? And since the majority of the cases, like 90%, 95% from the times, is people just asking, should I actually go with the mana stone of attack or defense or HP? For mages, since I'm mage main, I can clearly say that attack mana stone is beating the other one, just because the mages are hitting from very far. This is it's from safe spot, if I can actually say it like this, and better do more damage from this to have so many defense stats that you're not going to need it. And if you actually need them, it's too late, because the mage troops are way too squishy and going to get destroyed immediately. But yeah, no more random pick on the buffs anymore. And many people are actually chasing the HP and defense buff, okay, let's say the defense buff, and they're still melt very fast. Because, you know, this is an unwritten rule in Call of Dragons, is when you go on the fight, you should pick a mana stone that is increasing the survivability. And so far that was actually part from my guides that I make on this channel. But I think the times actually change, and they change a lot in Call of Dragons. So right now, I think HP bypass is going to outperform the attack attack boost, like 10% attack or 10% defense. This is mostly, obviously, we're talking about the mage skin that we're having, especially for the mages. This is the best one because 10% HP is some defense stats. If this mage skin was 10% defense, something that we was actually expecting in Call of Dragons, it's just going to increase the mage HP, but in the same time, just don't need as a mage that much survivability stats in general. And obviously, testing show bypass scales best in PvP. With all this reduction, with all these rallies, with all the heroes I already show you, it's just reduction of the HP or bypassing the HP is just working right now the best. This is the best buff you can actually get it. Now, you cannot get it from Mana Stone, obviously, because in my opinion, this buff is very good, but if you're running infantry or if you're running cavalry, maybe it's going to be better to get some HP. But yeah, for mages you can proceed with the attack, but still this HP bypass is scales better in PvP. And obviously wrong stats choice is going to be equal to wasted gems, wasted bundles, wasted money, let's say it like this. So yeah, I think definitely people should know each of these buffs, what is the consequences for the enemy legion by picking this and this and this buff, and actually make the best decision and get the best buff for them, and not actually waste their gems or speed ups or whatever resources, let's say like resources, over something that there is something else that is performing just better on the battle. And honestly, HP bypass is just stronger in endgame fights. And this is true. In the endgame fights, I mean, maybe in the season 1, season 2, HP is going to scale better. I mean, HP buff, attack buff, defense buff. Maybe attack buff is even better, but yeah, at the end game, you're facing some some very hard, very tough legions, and you're going to notice that from what I see, because right now even Wales with like 200 plus million power is not safe with this 95% returning of the troops at the end of the season. I mean, 95% if you buy the bundles or gems or whatever. Still, this feature is not in Call of Dragons. It's going to be 7 days after the KVK finish, just to mention that. You're going to have a chance to return 95% of your troops. 50 from the what was the name of this thing? I always forget it. Aquary. You're going to get like 50% return from the there, and extra 45% so from the bundles. So wells are not saved anymore, and that's why suddenly you're going to start punching very decent tough tanky wells. And I really hope this video actually help you to pick the right stats, or to pick the stats with purpose. With the purpose helping your legion with the troops that you're running and the heroes you're running. So hit one like if you enjoyed the video so far and you get value from this video. You're going to no longer confuse the stats debate, because yeah, still there is a new players coming in Call of Dragons. There is a old players that still are not quite sure which one to pick, or they just pick one stats, they think this is the best one, and they never look any other stats. But with the progression, Call of Dragons actually changed a lot. New mechanics are presented in the game, which, you know, from this point is making the game more interesting, and some things become outdated. Some ways or approaches become outdated. And remember, knowledge are always beating the guessing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit one like on the video if you get some value. Subscribe if you're new here. You can become a member of my channel if you want to support my work and help me to produce more videos. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.